But first, let me introduce Director of UNF's pre-law program, Adrian Lerner, back here on the morning show to talk about the choice of Mr. Gorsuch, Judge Gorsuch, to the Supreme Court. He is a constitutional conservative, conservationist, rather. He is a Scalia clone. Does he really change the complexion of the court? No.
We were going to get a conservative. We were going to get a justice in the model of Scalia because it's a Republican president. It is filling Scalia's vacancy, so it doesn't change the complexity of the court now. It doesn't change the political tenor or the leanings of the court.
Basically what it does is it restores the 5-4 split between conservatives and liberals, and it returns the swing vote to Justice Kennedy. But it also sets the stage for what happens next. And I've got to ask you, how are the Democrats going to react to this, knowing full well there is another Supreme Court justice who is going to retire, maybe Kennedy, maybe Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and the man who's waiting in the wings is Hardiman, and he will face a confirmation battle. How do they play this one?
Gorsuch is unimpeachable. His credentials are incredible. He's a scholar. He's well set up for confirmation. He had no trouble with his confirmation to the appellate bench. This might be a fight that Democrats save. There is anger over Merrick Garland, and I think the base will want to see vigorous questioning. I think they might want to see a stall tactic or two. However, the fight might be for that second appointment, as we were discussing yesterday, that it's likely that Trump's going to get more than one Supreme Court appointment. I don't think Ruth Bader Ginsburg's going to retire. I think she has no desire to do that under this administration. Kennedy has shown signs. There were Supreme Court watchers interested in the fact that he wasn't taking clerks earlier in the year. That sometimes is a sign of retirement. He did actually hire a clerk, but that fight might be best saved for that next nominee who might have a bigger impact, either taking Ruth Bader Ginsburg's more liberal seat or that swing vote on a few issues from Kennedy and making that a more solidly conservative seat.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, you think Senator Charlie Schumer is going to bring out the small guns and save the bigger battle for down the road?
That would be my prediction on this one.
When you look at the choice, at the judge who is going to be the next Supreme Court justice, and I think that's fairly safe to say, he is right of right on some issues, and he is pro-life, but not in the way most people think.
No, I mean, what's now, I guess, politically described as whole life. So euthanasia, there might be some leanings with some more health care and the like. He does have a track record on some issues of contraception. He was part of the appellate court that heard the ACA mandate for businesses, whether they could opt out of providing contraception in their plans. That is something that Democrats will bring up, that decision that was backed up by the Supreme Court. So there are some issues where we're slightly to the right of Scalia, maybe on some judicial philosophy. He favors natural law, which is a way to maybe have a more religious bent into some interpretations. But really, it's in the vein of Scalia. He's a scholar. He's a very well-respected justice. It's a solid pick from a very well-qualified current appellate judge.
Appreciate your perspective.
Thanks
for being here.